Hello, my name is Helen Redfern and I'm also known on Instagram as Helen Redfern Writer, and I have a blog called A Bookish Baker. I am currently standing outside our giant ash tree because the men have decided to dig up the road outside my office, so I thought I would do what I used to do in my old vlogs and just come down to the bottom of the field where it's a little bit quieter. Although having said that, as soon as I switched the camera on, 3 aeroplanes went over, the wind picked up, so just bear with. At the end of 2018 we bought ourselves a little puppy, and I thought, how on earth am I going to get anything done? But in actual fact, that period of time from September to near the end of the year, I produced some of the most work that I've ever done online. I was posting 3 blog posts a week. I was doing a vlog every week, firstly on IGTV and then over on YouTube. I launched a book club on Instagram. I launched a Patreon account where I wrote essays on Patreon. And what else did I do? I've probably missed off a few other things, but I was busy and I felt I achieved a lot, and I was very pleased with how much I achieved. So over the Christmas period I thought about how much I'd achieved and thought, well, this is the foundations. This allows me to enter 2019 with renewed vigour, with the foundations laid down, and I can start focusing on my big goal, which was to try to earn an income from my online work. So what I did then, I started looking at sponsored post opportunities on Instagram. I continued with my Patreon. I started to look into doing a course on Skillshare. I thought that YouTube would also be a great place to start earning money through their AdSense scheme. I had a clear plan of action. So yeah, the year started well. I did a few sponsored Instagram posts that I was really pleased with, and it made my earnings spreadsheet look very nice indeed. In 2018 I only did 1 essay on my Patreon, and over the following weeks and months I gained some more patrons, and I have written 4 essays in total, and so I get a very small income from that. And I continued with the YouTube, and my account was growing, my subscribers were going up, and then I came to a stop. I lost my oomph, my creative oomph, and I didn't know what to do next. And I was writing this essay and I was working through how I felt about things on Instagram stories as well, and I've even kept that highlight there when I was kind of working through the process of how I felt about things, of why I had come to a full stop with my creativity. It took me a while to work out because I didn't feel burnt out. In fact, I wasn't burnt out, and I was actually wanting to write and wanting to do stuff, but I just didn't, I can't really explain it. It just, there was a nothing. And I tried to identify what it was, and it was through the process of writing this essay that I realised what it was. I had come to a fork in the road, and I had taken the fork that went along the lines of doing sponsored Instagram posts, affiliate links and that sort of thing, and in actual fact that wasn't the right direction for me to go in. And the better way for me to go in was actually doing a reverse. In the essay I compared it to driving a creativity car, and I said, come to this fork in the road. I was taking the wrong road, so I had to reverse in my creativity car and go along a different road, and this different road was going to be harder, and it also meant that it was more long term and I wouldn't see the rewards as quickly as I would on this other road, and it would also take a lot of planning and thinking about, but it was the road that I wanted to go on. It was my dream road. So that's what I did. I reversed and then I stopped. I stopped and I couldn't think what to do next. I knew I wanted to go along this road of writing more. I wanted to write my novel. I wanted to write my essays and put them together as a non-fiction book that I might self-publish, that I intend to self-publish, let's be positive. And I also had another novel that I was working on as well that I thought might be suitable for self-publishing as a series. I've lost my notes. There they are. I just couldn't do anything, so what I did, my son was gearing up for revision mode with his GCSEs, and in the UK the GCSEs, he had 10 exams, or has, he's right in the middle of them now. He has 10 exams to do on various different subjects. He is 15, 16. And one of the subjects was English literature, so I decided to help him, and we went through the books like To Kill a Mockingbird, A View from a Bridge, Macbeth, and there were 16 items of poetry as well, and we chatted with that and I helped him a lot. But now he's in the middle of his exams. He's done one of the English literature ones. His next English literature is tomorrow. He doesn't need me anymore, and so it's time for me to, I was going to say stop procrastinating, but I wasn't really procrastinating. I was helping my son, but yeah, it was time for me to stop procrastinating, and it's time for me to get back to writing and to reassess my goals. So before, my goal was to start earning an income from my writing, and it still is, but I think I need to take a step back from that because that's just too big. It's too big at this moment because a lot of my goals are going to be long term. A lot of my projects, sorry, are going to be long term, and to make an income from it is going to take a while. I thought, well, what are going to be my goals? And I have been watching a lot of Sarah Cannon with her Heart Breathings channel, and she's got lots of videos all about how she creates a plan for each quarter, and she has goals for each quarter, then divides them up into projects, and then divides the projects up into tasks. And this reminded me of something that I actually started doing back in about 2016, and then, as is my way, I made it too complicated and ended up abandoning it completely. I liked how Sarah did her planning. It made a lot of sense to me, and I thought, right, okay, I am going to do something similar. I'm going to adapt what she does for my own goals and projects. So I have given myself 2 goals, and I have given myself 4 months for these goals, and I'm doing it for the next 4 months because that will bring us to the end of September, and then it will be the final quarter of the year. So I'm doing 4 months as kind of like the 3rd quarter of the year. So my 2 goals, the first one is to work towards becoming published, and this is both in a self-published and a traditionally published format. I've got my novel that I would like to send out to agents. If it's obviously rejected by agents, I might look at self-publishing that, but that is going to be my focus with that. And then I've got my essays. I want to get them written, and then I can release them on a monthly basis, and then work towards getting that self-published. I've also got another novel that I might look into be self-published, and this sounds like a lot of work, so I am going to insert my little IGTV video to the side of me, and you can see how I'm not actually intending to do all 3 of those all at once. I've divided the months up, and I'm looking at what I intend to do in 30 days, in 60 days, in 90 days, and in 120 days. I'm not actually going to look at my 3rd book until I think month 3, so I'm not going to put a lot of pressure on myself to do that, but it is a focus, and it's going to allow me to break these goals down into projects. So I've got 3 projects, my 3 books, and then I'm going to break these projects down into tasks, and then every day when I come into my office I will know what tasks I am doing, because I will have tasks for the month, then I'll divide that up into tasks for the week, and then I'll divide that up into tasks for the day. And you know, I've done videos before on how I plan out my writing month in my bullet journal, and this is going to be a similar thing. It's very much inspired by Sarah's way of doing things, but I'm going to adapt it for how I work with my bullet journal. So that's my first goal, and then my second goal is to get back to YouTube and start re-uploading twice a week if possible. It was a few months ago when I read something, I thought, oh, I didn't know that was true, but I always assumed that to start earning money through AdSense on YouTube that you had to have a minimum of 1,000 subscribers, and my subscriber count is going up very gradually and very slowly. It's so difficult to get your first 1,000 subscribers, but it was going up, and at the time of talking today I'm on 690. And then I found out, like I say, a few months ago, that I needed also, I think it's 4,000 hours of watch time in a year, and I think I am currently on 1,100 hours of watch time in a year, and it's not too bad, bearing in mind I only really started in September of last year. But I do need to increase my output, I need to be consistent, I need to have quality stuff, and it needs to be on a regular basis and not just one a fortnight or whenever I can be bothered. I need to be more strategic about it. I need to plan in advance, I need to batch work. And the other thing that I mentioned on my blog post is that I need to block out my calendar so I know what I'm doing when. And this is going to be actually quite freeing, I think, to block my calendar, so I know that for 3 hours, for example, a morning, say from 8, 9, 10, 11, so from 8 till 11 I might work on my novel or do something like that, and then maybe videos are in the afternoon, or videos on a certain day of the week. So it still needs a lot of thinking about as to how I'm going to do this, and I thought I would share my progress on Instagram stories. Yes, that is my plan for the next 4 months, and I'm not intending to make myself work hours and hours a week. The idea of this time blocking or calendar blocking is to work smarter, and so I end up working less hours in my office, but because I am focused when I'm doing, I've got those few hours of writing so I can get in and get out, and I'm aware that some holidays will be coming up, so I want to spend time with my children as well. So it's all going to be, like I say, about being a bit more strategic with my time, and do what essentially I did last year when I was doing all these blog posts and IGTV and YouTube and the book club, and I could do all that whilst also having a young puppy, and it's just doing a very similar thing but with my long-term projects. So that is my little writing life update. I hope that made sense. I would love it if you followed the journey with me, or if you are doing something similar, then do let me know. Or if you want to hear anything, if you have any specific questions, let me know what they are as well. I could maybe do a YouTube video on that. If it all works for me with this calendar blocking and everything, then I will do a video on it to show you. But I'm going to give it a few months first, and then I'll let you know how I get on. But yeah, that is my little writing life update. Thank you very much for watching. Please do think about subscribing. Click that subscribe button, and I will see you next time for another video. Bye for now. Bye.